So before we actually paint, I want to go over some painting tips and rules and how to use certain things. Most of the time when we paint in here, we're going to have a cup of water. We're going to have at least one brush, maybe sometimes two. And you're going to have some sort of paints. And there's different types of paint. There is watercolor paint, and there's also acrylic paint. Plus quite a few other ones, but those are the two that we will use mostly in art class. So with watercolor, you have to add water to the paint to make it work, which we will talk about on another occasion. With what we are doing here at the beginning of this school year, this year, we are using acrylic paint. So at a later time, I'll kind of go over the watercolor paint a little bit and how it works. The acrylic paint, I'm going to have it in some sort of container. Today, for the video, I have it in an egg carton, an empty egg carton. And acrylic paint's already wet when you get it. So you don't really need water to make it work. You just need water to clean your brushes. So that's one of the things we're going to talk about. I just showed you a picture of how your brush should be used versus how it should not be used. And we talked about how the brush should not be scrubbed. And this is what I mean when I say scrub. Okay, we're not going to scrub and mash the brush down. We're going to use the brush and we're going to pretend it's on its toes, kind of like a ballerina. So we're not actually going to mash it down. And a good way to paint is to paint from left to right in a stroke or a straight line or up and down, okay? And I'm not mashing my brush down. Again, I'm keeping it on its toes. If you're painting something small, it'll have to be on its toes even more than it normally would be. So to show you what I mean, let me get some color out here. I'll get some orange. So if I'm painting something really small and I want it to be smaller, I'm barely going to touch the paper. That's a skinny line. If I want it to be a thicker line, I can turn the brush and I can mash it down a little bit more, but I'm still on my tippy toes, okay? So those are two things you need to know about painting. So if I want to switch to a new color, okay, I've got a pretty clean cup of water over here, but you're going to be sharing a cup with other people at your table. And because of that, your water is going to get dirty really quick, especially if you use a dark color of some kind, like black. I don't think we'll have any black. Probably our darkest colors will be purple and blue, maybe some green. But your water could start looking black from that. Now you see I'm swishing my brush and I'm holding my cup. If you swish without holding the cup's going to tip over, and we don't want that to happen, because then we'll have a mess to clean up instead of painting. When you get done swishing, and I'm putting the brush all the way to the bottom of the cup so it can touch the bottom of the cup and get some of that paint out. When you're done swishing, instead of doing this, we're going to wipe. So I should not hear your brush making that noise, because if it's making that noise, it's probably splattering on someone. So we're going to wipe. You can flip the brush over a couple times, and now you're ready to change to a new color, okay? And yes, your water will change colors. So I'm going to change to a blue, but before I do, just to make sure I got all that orange out, I'm going to take my paper towel and I'm going to wrap it around my brush and give it a good squeeze between my finger and my thumb. Okay, it looks pretty clean. The paper towel is pretty clean. If it's not, you can dip it in the water and swish it a little bit more and try it again and see if you got it all out. Okay, so again, we're going to stay on our tippy toes. We're not going to mash down. We're not going to scrub. We can turn our brush in different directions to make smaller lines. And we can lift it up a little bit and not press it down to make smaller lines, okay? And again, if I'm going to clean my brush out and make sure I get all the color out, I'm going to hold my cup while I'm swishing. I'm going to push it all the way to the bottom of the cup and swish. I'm going to wipe, and then I'm going to take my towel and squeeze any extra color out, okay? If your water at your table starts getting dirty and it's not cleaning your brush out anymore, I will be coming by to switch out your water cup at some point during class so that will be clean again.